Yeah, I think it's about time to make videos on the other Canadiens organization signings that had taken place. It's funny, because on the day that Ivan Demidov signed, there was another prospect who also inked the pen to the dotted line in the Habs organization that we completely glossed over. We talked about him in a few videos, just kind of alluded to his existence. So I'll apologize for not really diving into this other signing too, but ultimately I think you can understand that Ivan Demidov was the big situation that everybody was talking about. Everybody wanted to get the new scoop, the new info, the new anything. It's almost like every single piece of information that this guy has in regards to his situation, everybody wants to know, oh, is he coming onto this flight? Is he coming to Montreal at this time? Is he leaving Istanbul at that time? Is he going to the bathroom? Is he doing this? Is he doing that? Ivan Demidov is a pure celebrity amongst Habs fans right now. But he wasn't the only signing that we can talk about, because earlier in the same morning that Demidov had signed 2 days ago, we also saw this signing go down. The Montreal Canadiens had signed prospect Tyler Thorpe to his NHL entry-level contract. However, the CLC will begin in 25-26. For now, prospect Tyler Thorpe is going to the AHL with an ATO. And this is a really good story here. So Tyler Thorpe, if you needed the scoop, he's a Richmond, BC guy. So he's actually from my part of town here. 19 years old, 6'5", 214, right-handed, right-wing player. 5th round pick by the Habs in the 2024 NHL Entry Draft. Tyler Thorpe is a really interesting name because he's a big guy, but he's also got a really good scoring touch. And when you look at the scouting report, as posted over here by Elite Prospects on the Draft Guide, it's uncommon to see a player of Thorpe's stature shoot in motion and off the catch with such impressive form. His hands always stay in front of his body, and he really elevates his top arm to put his full body weight behind the net. He also has a knack for deflections bolstered by between checks positioning. And I just gotta get this out of the way here too, because Tyler Thorpe is a Richmond, BC guy. He actually did play a season before his WHL campaign started at 16 years old with the Richmond Sockeyes. Yeah, that's right. The Sockeyes are the team that I was the full-time play-by-play commentator for here in Richmond for a season. That was the 2019-20 campaign. So 2 years before Tyler Thorpe played for the Sockeyes, I was the guy who was going out there and calling their games. And that literally was the case here. You can see my demo reel. It's on my alternate YouTube channel. But for a guy who was 19 years old calling some PJHL games, I honestly think I did a pretty good job. Tyler Thorpe, though, unfortunately, was not in this demo reel because he hadn't been playing for the Sockeyes at that point. Anyways, he worked his way up through the Richmond system into the BCHL before suiting up for the Vancouver Giants. Last year, he had 44 points in 51 games played, which prompted the Canadiens to select him in the 5th round. 52 points in 68 games is what he had accomplished this season before getting eliminated in the WHL playoffs by the Spokane Chiefs. Now, I know a lot of y'all might be thinking here, wait a minute, when was the last time the Montreal Canadiens drafted a 5th round right-wing dude out of the Vancouver Giants in the WHL? And that's a great question, because literally the last time Montreal drafted somebody in this profile, right-wing, Vancouver Giants, 5th round, the last guy was Brendan Gallagher, 5th round guy in 2010. Now he's doing what he's doing 15 years later, and Tyler Thorpe is a guy that a lot of people have drawn those parallels to. Not because they're the same player. Oh no, not by any means. Thorpe is huge. Gallagher isn't. But there is a feistiness to Tyler Thorpe that allows him to use his body to create space, to use his quick thinking and NHL-level shot to create offense. This is a guy whose overall profile is so interesting, and it's even written about in all the scouting reports here. Even though the numbers, the point production might not stand off at the page here, Thorpe is an underratedly smart player, and it's why he was even drafted by Montreal, why he was also given a contract here to start out in the AHL and get his ELC kicking in for 2025-2026. Long term, who really knows what's going to happen here? The guy's 19, turning 20 in August, and really the sky is the moon for a guy who is this young, this big, and this good of a shooter. We'll see firstly, though, how that translates into the AHL as Thorpe suits up for the Laval Rocket over there. However, Thorpe is not the only guy that's been brought onto the Laval Rocket in the past little while. There is another guy that the Rocket themselves have signed, and he also happens to be a right wing. This was also 2 days ago. On the same day that Ivan Demidov and Tyler Thorpe were signed, the Canadiens farm team in Laval, the Rocket, have agreed to terms to a 1-year, one-way AHL contract in 2025-2026 with forward Joseph Dunlap. Dunlap also signed a PTO contract for the remainder of the 24-25 season. So Dunlap is another guy over here who has joined the Rocket, who also happens to be an interesting addition. 25 years old, Windham, New Hampshire, USA native, 6 feet 185 right-handed right-wing player. Now, I'll say this, Dunlap doesn't have necessarily the most attractive profile when you're just looking at the raw hard numbers. He's already 25, and he has just wrapped up 5 seasons playing in the NCAA's Ohio State University team. His first season, he had 1 goal in 17 games played. In his second, he had 13 points in 32 games played. In his third year, he had 22 points. In his next year, he didn't play a bunch, but he had 8 points in 13 games. And then this season, he had scored 22 points in 39 games. He's not really going to be a guy who moves the needle too much just based off of the profile at his age, but it's awesome that he was able to get an AHL contract at this time and also get a regular contract for the next season's worth of play in Laval. Do I think he has NHL potential? If I had to bet on it, I'd say probably not, but at the same time, weirder things have happened than a 25-year-old college signee showing off well enough to potentially make the NHL. Who's even to say that he's going to be due for some sort of a top spot? I mean, he's just going to try out for now and get paid full-time next season. At the end of the day, though, Joseph Dunlap is a new guy in the team, just like that Tyler Thorpe, and we also did have ourselves an image that the Laval Rocket posted on their own social media of the new guys on the block. Thorpe, Jacob Fowler, as well as Dunlap all there, suiting up with their Laval Rocket merch. Nice to see all the new dudes coming in here and making an impact. There also was some commentary from Tyler Thorpe about being in Laval. Take a look at this tweet made. Thorpe speaking out about auditioning for a roster spot with the Rocket. That's my goal. I want to try and play pro at 20 years old. What I do here at the end of the season and training camp next season, those will pave the path for what I do next year. So at the end of the day, Tyler Thorpe is a guy with a really good goal-scoring ability. He's got a great shot. He's got moments of really high intelligence, and ultimately he's just going to have to work on his foot speed and his physical tools. We know he's a big guy, but he's got to learn how to use it more. And ultimately, if that package comes together, we could be looking at a really good 5th-round pick. Maybe the best 5th-round pick for a Vancouver Giants guy by a Montreal Canadiens draft class since Brendan Gallagher. Who knows? As well as for Joseph Dunlap, we will take a look and see what he's capable of doing. I'd say he's probably more unlikely than Tyler Thorpe is, but of course, we gotta give the resume a chance to speak for itself here. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about these 2 signings, these 2 new Laval guys that just happened to sign at the worst time possible, on the same day Ivan Demidov signed, thus taking all the attention away from them. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.